Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. Hello. I'm not sure when you're listening to this, but you are listening to the Portsmouth Proud podcast. I'm your host, E. Washington, the Public Information Officer for the Portsmouth Police Department. We serve a community that's not too far from the ocean, not too far from the bay, right on the river. And we are producing this police podcast for you. So you know what's happening in your city. You know the plan, and you know how you can be a part of it.
This is episode 15 of the Portsmouth Proud podcast, and today we're discussing back to school safety. This is going to be a short episode. Full episodes will return after the Labor Day holiday. We are going to discuss back to school safety tips so we can ensure that our kids stay safe as they return to school on Monday. The first tip, the first thing we want to discuss is let's plan and practice the route to school. Whether our children are walking or riding their bikes or they're taking the bus, we can practice the route with them. We can identify safe places along the route, some place they can go if they need help. We can also remind them to always cross the street at crosswalks and obey traffic laws. You know, they might be out of practice, looking both ways before they cross the street. We can't count on just because they're in a school zone that everyone else is going to be following the traffic rules, that they're going to be obeying the law. So let's teach them to be proactive and to be on the lookout. Look both ways before you cross the street. And we can start off the school year safe that way. Again, let's teach traffic safety. If your child walks or they bike to school, make sure that they know pedestrian or bike safety rules. So if they know what direction they should be walking across the street. And then bicycle safety rules. Make sure they have their helmets on. Like walking on sidewalks. Let's walk on sidewalks. A lot of times, I don't know, we love to walk in the street. The street is for cars. The street is for vehicles. People belong on sidewalks where there are sidewalks. Let's be on them. Where there are crosswalks, let's walk across the street there. Um, Keep their kids safe. And if your kid is riding a bike, if your child is riding a bike, tell them to wear their helmet. I know we want to look cute and it doesn't look cool, but it is better to be safe than to be dead. That might be extreme, but it's better to be safe and look uncool for the time you're driving to school or riding to school than to be looking cute and end up dead because you didn't have on a helmet. So let's make sure our kids are wearing their helmets if they're riding their bike and that they are following the traffic rules. No walking in the street, walk on the sidewalk. This is advised also from the American Academy of Pediatrics. As parents, make sure we're updating those community or those not community, updating our emergency contacts. Ensure that your kid's school has up to date emergency contact information and your child knows how to contact you in a case of an emergency. So the school, you're probably going to fill out those forms, but it's important that, our kids have those emergency numbers. So make sure if they have phones, that their emergency numbers are in their phones, but then also practice some emergency numbers that they can have in case they misplace their phone or they get someplace where their phone dies, that they can ask somebody and they can know how to call the number if it's not saved in their line. This is important. I know as a millennial parent, sometimes, when I'm talking with my grandma and she's like super serious about making sure my kids know numbers, and they do know some numbers, but sometimes I'm like, Grandma, they got phones, or we don't, we're good. But restrictions happen, as well as you don't always have a phone because your phone has died. So it's important to go over these things. Our grandparents and our parents, they do know some things. Another tip is pack healthy lunches. If your kids are bringing lunch from home, you know, put some carrots in there. We know that they love their Takis, they love their chips, but let's put some vegetables in there. They can cut the celery and put some peanut butter. They can have carrots. You can put grapes and put some fruit in there. Let's give them some healthy options so that they are practicing healthy eating habits, that they can have a palate that is diverse and likes to taste and try different things, um, but also just for their health. Don't let your child have to get like, the sleepitis in the middle of school. They're 9. Give them some healthy options. Something that we also don't think about, we might think about it when we have like kindergartners and their backpacks are so big and they look so cute with those gigantic backpacks, but it's not necessarily good for their back. So let's ensure that our child's backpack is not too heavy and it's worn correctly to avoid back strain. Backpack should be no more than 10%, 10 to 20% of your child's body weight. Did you know this? I did not know this until looking up information of this. This comes from American Chiropractic Association. So, don't overload your kids' book bags. And um, yeah, that's important. So weigh them, weigh the book bags, get that little luggage weigher and weigh the book bag. It should be 10 to 20% of your kids' um, body weight. New information. And that probably should go for us in those purses that we carry. Probably shouldn't have everything in the purses. I am guilty of this. I have all kinds of stuff in a backpack, a purse. I'm like a bag lady going to work. So don't let your kid look like me going to work. Also, we can review our school's safety policies. Let your child and yourself be familiarized with the school safety policies, including those related to emergencies, like where does your child go if there is an actual fire and it's not a drill, or if there's an actual emergency that's happening, not a drill, where do they go and where do you need to pick up? Review those policies. Look at what bullying policies are at your school. And then like, if there's some kind of like COVID-19 cases pick up, cases go down, outbreaks happen. So be familiar with those COVID-19 protocols, as well as just thickness protocols. We probably don't know this, but there are rules within schools about what percentage of your student body can have be out for the flu or for a cold or for any other kind of virus or things that are going around. So it doesn't just have to be COVID-19. Familiarize yourself about um, just health protocols in general. Don't send your kids to school. I know sometimes we feel like I gotta go to work. It's hard. But if your kid has been snotty, for a few days, like snot, not like bad behavior, but snot running out their nose and eyes, and they're coughing and hacking, do us other parents a favor and keep your baby home. Keep them home. Promote hand hygiene. So I've seen it. I've seen adults do this. I've seen kids do this. Um, just getting your fingertips wet in the water after going to the bathroom does not count as washing your hands. Wash your hands. Like use warm water, use soap, get up close to the elbows, forearm area, in between your fingers, on your fingernails. Wash your hands. Scrub your hands like you're a surgeon. And then rinse them and and then dry them, dry them and then possibly use a paper towel to open up the doors. Keep your hands clean. No just washing fingertips or rinsing fingertips. You need soap. You need to wash the whole hand. This is from the World Health Organization. And then you do this, and I guarantee a lot of the sniffles and the snotty noses that happen will go down if we can keep our kids or have our kids wash their hands. Another thing that we can do as we prepare for going back to school is discuss stranger danger. We hear about trafficking of kids and things like that. And we don't want to just be nervous, but just go over those things with your kids. If you haven't gone over them in a little while while they're little, you'd be surprised on how many of our kids will go up to a car if they have candy or if the person seems sincere. Um, so teach your child about the importance of not talking to strangers, not accepting rides or gifts from people they don't know, and reporting any suspicious activity. And not just people they don't know. Talk to your kids about if I haven't talked to you beforehand, then you should not be going with anybody. It's not just people you don't know. If I haven't talked to you beforehand, you shouldn't just be going with anybody, except for, those people that your kids, obviously like your sister or your brother or something. But, if I haven't specifically told you that so and so's coming to get you or you're going with them someplace, they shouldn't be going with them. Also, this is can be hard to do because our kids have their technology with them all the time. Even our older kids, they have phones, they have tablets, they're surrounded by technology, but we really need to be monitoring online activity. We've all seen the little shorts or the reels or the videos online where parents think their kids are looking at YouTube kid, and then it starts off like, I'm the map, and then it goes into complete chaos. That happens so often. Monitor what your kids are looking at online. Monitor their social media sites. Their kids. Look at who are they talking to? What are they talking about? Revisiting like the rules on bullying or peer pressure. Monitor what they're looking at online, and that they understand online safety rules, not sharing personal information, knowing what to do if they encounter inappropriate content. This is recommended by the Federal Trade Commission. It's important as we are monitoring that we just stay involved and communicate with our kids. Ask them about their day. Sometimes you're getting off of work and you want to decompress. I get it. I'm that way too. I want to, but you have to take some time. Hey, we're the parents. We have to take time to talk to our kids, talk to them about their day, their friends, any concerns they might have. Not just grilling them about homework or schoolwork or what they did, but just really, you know, talking to them, having a conversation. Staying involved can help you identify and address any issues that might arise early. And this is from the American Psychological Association. Um, Other things that we can do as parents, you know, label their stuff. Sometimes kids have sticky fingers, they have grabby hands, they have klepto tendencies. So label your child's belongings. I just spent an arm and a leg on two TI um, 84 calendars and scientific, not calendars, calculators. Those scientific calculators, best believe I told my kids, write your names on the back of those, not on the little thing that comes off, on the back of the calculator. I don't want to be spending. I had to buy two. I have twins. I don't want to spend all that money on those calculators again. So label their belongings, label their lunch boxes, their lunch containers. Got those Stanley cups? Label those. Even if they're not Stanley, label them. Label school supplies. Um, this will reduce the risk of lost items. Unlike sometimes people don't have grabby hands, sometimes our kids are just forgetful and they leave stuff around. So you can go to that school, lost and found, and retrieve those items. Um, and that's important. It's important that you do that. For our pockets, it's important. It's important just for your kids to be able to keep track of their things. I think if your kids are riding the bus as well, like we talked about going through the route of going to school, but also just review the school's bus safety rules, including like, they need to stay seated. Talk to them. The bus driver is trying to drive. They're trying to get your kids to school safely. Tell your children, to let's respect the bus driver. Let's listen to when the bus driver gives directions. Let's follow those directions. Let's stay seated while the bus is moving. Let's wait for the bus to come to a complete stop before getting on or getting off. And then make sure you always are crossing in front of the bus where the driver can see them. And this is recommended from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Also, you can help your child prepare for weather changes. Ensure your child is dressed appropriately for the weather with layers for colder mornings that can be removed as it warms up. Teach them to watch for signs of dehydration or frostbite depending on the season. Depending on the season. So, our kids sometimes it's weird. They want to wear hoodies when it's 95 degrees out. They don't want to wear coats in the wintertime. So let's help them to understand proper attire for the weather and the season. And so they can have a wonderful school year. They have a little bit of time before they have to wear coats, but like make sure they're getting their water, make sure they're, not layered up with those hoodies. It gets hot in school and to keep them safe. But these are a few things that we can do. So just starting from the beginning, um, let's plan and practice their route to school. Let's go over traffic safety, helping them make sure they remember to cross at crosswalks, update emergency contacts, go over those numbers with them. Um, Pack healthy lunches and snacks. They can have chips, but it's okay to eat an apple too every now and then. Use backpacks safely. 10 to 20% of their body weight. Use that luggage scale. Review school safety policies. Go over the policies about emergency and bullying and health protocols. Promote hand washing. Rinsing the tips of your fingers is not washing your hands. You must use soap. Discuss stranger danger. Monitor online activity. Stay involved and communicate. Use those rides home. Use few minutes before dinner or during dinner time. Catch up with your children or right before bed. Then help them label their belongings. Know the school's bus safety rules. Listen to the bus driver. And then prepare for weather changes. Those are a few ways that we can help our kids start the school year off right, have a safe school year. Remember, parents, that the school zone cameras are about to be activated. School zone cameras activate. They are activated and they are taking pictures. You need to slow down. 25 in a school zone. Follow the traffic signs. Follow the lights when they're flashing. Look at the times. Be mindful of the times that you are driving near schools, because the speed limit is 25 miles per hour. Also, red light cameras, they're out there. It's for your safety. It's a force multiplier. Our police officers have the cameras to help monitor traffic to keep us safe on our streets, so that they can also go to other calls where a camera is not going to work. So remember, school speed zones, remember the traffic cameras and those bus arm stops. When the bus arm is out, remember to stop and stay stopped until the bus arm is in. You can go to dmv.virginia.gov for more traffic safety laws. And you can follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, and Twitter or X at Portsmouth PD. Thank you. And remember, this is our city, this is your city, so let's work together to make it great.
Are you considering a career in law enforcement? Sign on today as a Portsmouth police officer and receive up to $1,500 if you're already Virginia certified. We offer a $1,000 allowance for a bachelor's degree and a $500 allowance for an associate's degree on top of your base pay. Officers can also earn additional income on time spent in court and at community events. Visit our website at portsmouthpd.us for more information on how to apply.